Hello everyone, John Frelsto with Topspin Tennis. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips for a better forehand volley. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a bonus on how to hit the 1-inch volley and how it can be so powerful and help your game too. Enjoy the video. All right, tip number 1 is my grip of choice. What most of the pros are using on the tour is going to be the continental grip. Basically, it's very similar. I like to use the analogy like you're holding a glass of lemonade. So if you're going to come up and grab that glass of lemonade, ideal grip for the volley, because this way now you can use it for the forehand volley or the backhand volley. Another way to think about it is just the hammer grip. We've heard about this before, like you're going to hit the hammer on the head. If we come down the edge of the racket, we have bevel 1, bevel 2, bevel 3. Basically, we're going to put this base knuckle on bevel 2. Now, this may vary a little bit depending on what we're trying to do with the volley, but for the most part, if we can stay on bevel 2, that's going to help a lot with the volley. The other thing you want to do is I use what's called like a trigger finger. Notice how my finger separates a little bit from the other fingers. And the reason why I like to do this is because I feel I get a little bit more leverage on the racket. I'm not a fan of the hammer grip. I think we get too much arm tension with that. But by taking this finger and spreading it apart a little bit, I feel like I get more of the hand behind the racket and I get a little bit more lag and a little bit more snap with that volley. One other thing to keep in mind with the grip is you want to have you don't want a lot of arm tension. And what I mean by that is if you have a death grip, your racket's not going to work for you. But if we can stay loose, see how we get a little bit of that snap? You want to hold that racket tight enough where you feel you have control, but at the same time you can still get this lag, right? This little bit of a whipping effect. So one way to do that when you're volleying is just take this pinky off the grip, and it allows for the racket to kind of lag back a little bit, less arm tension, you can get a little bit more snap into the volley. Let me show you. And by doing that, I can feel the racket. Watch it how it lags a little bit, and I get a little bit more snap on the volley. All right, tip number 2 is going to be the feet. When I am volleying, I'm not thinking about my footwork very much other than to go get the ball. Now, if the incoming ball is going to be very fast, then I may hit more of an open stance when I volley. If the ball's weaker and it's floating, I may go get it and be a little bit more aggressive with my forward movement. But a lot of times, if we watch at the higher levels, the pros are hitting a lot of open stance, right? Because the incoming ball is so fast, the pace is provided. Basically what they're doing is they're going to find the ball out in front and then just redirect. A lot of times that incoming ball is coming in at 90 miles an hour. Their goal is to absorb it a little bit, deflect, and maybe send it back at 70 or 80. They're not trying to match the pace. The pace is provided. They're more like a backboard and they're going to redirect. If I'm a righty, I'm going to set the right side. If you're a lefty, we'll just do the opposite. We're going to set this side. Here's how the pros do it, and I would encourage you to do the same thing. I'm a fan of simplicity. I think simplicity can be powerful, and the way that I teach my students on setting the right side is the first move is just going to be a slight shoulder turn, like this unit turn. On the forehand side, the key is we want to keep this hand as close to the ball as possible. If we take a huge back or huge shoulder turn and commit to this big backswing, the hand gets further away from the ball. What do the pros do? What do the top level players do? The incoming ball already has the pace. What the pros do is it's almost like they're playing catch. So what they'll do is they set this right side with a slight shoulder turn, and this hand will open up like they're going to catch the ball. So if you look at the move, it's basically going to be here, slight, not even a quarter turn with the shoulders and hips. Do you see this move? And then what they do is they set the right side, they get the racket behind the ball, One key to keep in mind here too is you want to set this racket between your body and the incoming ball. So from the side, it would look like this. I'm going to set the racket, or the right side. Notice how the racket head is in front of my body, right? So I almost feel like I have a curtain here or a wall. I don't want to go past that. I want to feel here. So slight shoulder turn. I set the right side. The racket is between my body and the ball, and then I get and then I go and find it. Okay, so when you set the right side, keep it simple. Slight shoulder turn, set the racket between your body and the ball, and almost catch the ball on your strings. Almost feel like you're going to catch it, and then redirect. I can't tell you how important it is to not pull your head. Roger Federer is the best at this, and there's a reason for this. It's so important that when you're volleying that you keep your head and your chin still. If there's any kind of movement here, it's so hard to fixate on the ball. So what guys like Federer do, some of the top pros, is when they volley, right, they find that ball in front, right? They're finding it out here in front and to the side, and then long after contact, they're going to keep their chin here. As soon as we start pulling, then we have more moving parts and we can get more in trouble. So I would encourage you to stay with that contact point longer, right? And then when that ball is long gone, let's say it's past the net. When it's past the net, then you can look up. That's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to improve your timing. I think you're going to find the ball better. Two, it's going to give you more feel. By staying with that contact point, keeping that chin down, that head steady, you're going to be more consistent, you're going to get more feel, and you're going to have more success on that volley. All right, let's look at the finish on the volley. For the most part, I'm not a fan of taking big cuts. I feel less is more on the volley. Placement over power is going to be better. If I can be aggressive, right, the ball's a little weaker, my weight's going forward, I can have a little bit more follow through on my finish. Maybe I want to knife it a little bit, put a little bit more spin, I may carve it a little bit. That's all usually off of like a weaker to like a medium pace ball where I can really carve and maybe finish it a little bit more. If the incoming ball is coming fast, I'm thinking brevity, not a lot of backswing, and not a lot of finish. Because if the incoming ball's quick, I'm going to send it back really fast. So there's a good chance it's going to come back to me quickly. So I don't want to be taking a huge cut at it, and then I get caught out of position. So if I'm looking to maybe impart a little more spin, be a little bit more aggressive, I might have a little bit more finish. But for the most part, at the higher levels on my volley, I'm thinking brevity. So the shorter the swing, the more control, the easier it is for me to get set and get ready for the incoming ball. All right, so here's the bonus. I'm going to teach you the 1-inch volley. The key to this is not to take a big swing. When I'm thinking 1 inch, I'm just thinking of my hand here, right? So I really use the racket head acceleration for power. The hand is really not moving much. This is the motion, a little bit of leg, and great timing for power. So let's show you a few of these volleys from the side. So slight backswing, set that racket in front. So I'm going to set it between my body and the ball, set the right side, and then it's a freeze. So stay relaxed and then freeze and firm. So it's loose and then firm. So when hitting that 1-inch volley, think brevity, not a lot of arm tension or wrist tension. We're going to be real loose with the grip. And then as we hit, that's when we firm up. Think of it as you're driving a car down the highway, right? You're nice and relaxed. And then you got to lock up the brakes. Because that stopping of the racket, right? Locking it up, that's where we get the acceleration. So be loose, not a lot of backswing, and then put on the brakes and you're going to feel that racket kind of snap into place, get that acceleration, and that's going to. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. If you like the video, share it with your friends, your coaches, your players, and then also hit that notification bell to get updates on future videos. Thanks so much for watching.